What's up, everybody? Happy Tuesday. Hope everyone's having a good day. Got a lot to cover in today's episode, including Kwon giving his first interview back. I'll play a clip of this interview. It was sort of comical in nature. I'll give my thoughts on what exactly went down in that clip. It was a little bit odd. And then plus news on Adam Neumann, WeWork's Adam Neumann, which is actually very bullish for the markets, for crypto. Get into that later. Don't forget to like the subscribe button. Follow me on Twitter at bencryptoshow. Let's begin. First, I went to a meetup last night. Chainlink was hosting it. Met some people from Algorand too. Both two very impressive organizations here. Impressive coins. They both been around a while. Chainlink's in 2017. Algorand's in 2019. Companies have kind of managed to stay relevant for long periods of time, which is very rare in crypto. I'd attribute that a lot in part to the fact that they're very active on the meetup circuit, like the small and medium-sized event circuit, as opposed to just being active online or just being active at the huge conferences where you sort of get lost in the shuffle. I think that's a very good business strategy on both of their parts, but I was very impressed with the people I met there. Definitely going to look more into those two companies going forward. For some reason, didn't really know too much about Chainlink or Algorand beforehand, beyond just, what you read in the news every day. But I was impressed. Let's see, market action, Bitcoin, what's new? 24,000 again, almost. Started the weekend, 24,000. Finished the weekend, 24,000, 23,800 now. I mean, if any YouTubers are doing full half-an-hour episodes on technical analysis and the market action, they must be really scrounging for material. There's just not too much to cover in terms of the price action these days. Poll of the day. 2019, Trivia, Dan Bilzerian's company tonight, had net losses of how much money on total sales of just $9 million? Correct answer is net losses for 2019 were negative $69 million on total sales of $9 million. So I did this episode yesterday that it did very well. People seemed to like it. Obviously, it didn't have too much crypto to it, but it did sort of tie in with some of the themes of Three Arrows Capital blow up. I thought it was one of my best episodes ever. I would definitely encourage you to go and watch it. But yeah, I mean, in a nutshell, the 2019 this is a company you heard so much about online, and then it just vanished. The 2019 financials were sort of scary. 9 million sales, negative 69 million net loss, 4 CEOs in 18 months. One CEO just randomly quit after 9 months without a new job lined up. The second CEO sort of tried to curtail Dan's spending, call him out on that after the auditor raised some questions, and Dan Bilzerian proceeded to fire him a couple days later. That guy then sued. That lawsuit is still going on. I guess what that question is, there was this big house you probably saw splashed all over Instagram a couple of years ago. The heart of the discretion was Dan no longer lives here, but a lot of it was like, can you just throw a bunch of parties in a house, splash an Ignite logo on it, and make it a corporate expense? Well, Dan did that. Can you, build a paintball court, splash the Ignite logo? Is that a corporate expense? Can you build a rock climbing wall, splash the Ignite logo on it? Is that a corporate expense? Those were all corporate expenses, which the auditor and the second CEO sort of called foul on, and that did not go well. Let's move on to the crypto. It's a great episode. I would definitely recommend watching. Let's move on to the crypto news. Let's stay in these sort of high ratings personalities here. Kwon. So he gave his first interview a couple days ago. That was kind of weird. Usually when you do an interview like this with the Three Arrows Capital guys, they chose Bloomberg. So usually you choose a credentialed, big organization that you can sort of trust, and they're not going to throw any curveball questions at you, and the interview is going to have authenticity to everyone else who watches it. Kwon didn't take that strategy. He gave the interview to this guy here, Coinage Media, an unknown organization, with this person who runs it, Zach Guzman, who's, again, fairly unknown. People were very surprised by this. Fat Man Terra called him out for this, said it was like a shilling thing. I mean, my first reaction was I didn't think it was shady at all. I figured since the interview was conducted in Singapore, I'm like, okay, so it's probably just a guy Kwon knows from the local Singapore crypto scene. Maybe they met at an event, so just a buddy he can trust. He knows, he's not going to surprise him with any tough questions. So I thought it was totally normal at first. People were unfairly criticized, and that's what I thought. Then I watched the interview clip. It's a little bit odd. I mean, here's the 30-second interview. Just tell me what you think. I'll give you my thoughts on it later.
Before, though, if you did make a toy that a lot of people choked on, does it make you more hesitant to make the next toy? Or more careful about making the next toy?
Absolutely, yeah. It does. Yeah.
And does it impact any of the joy and or fears in what the toy can do?
So I haven't made a toy since the choking incident. So
I mean, so awkward. That was just like cringeworthy. Not to be critical, right? I just sort of felt like two high schoolers interviewing each other. That there wasn't too much flow to the interview. There wasn't any, chemistry between the interviewer and the interviewee. Long pauses. So I guess it was a friend theory he met at a local Singapore crypto event theory was probably wrong, because it just didn't really seem like they had too much interview chemistry there. So I don't know. I don't know. And then they're releasing the news in bits and pieces. Like, you can't even get the full interview now. You have to download a free NFT, which is needed to access the full interview. This reporter tried to connect his wallet to get the free NFT, and it didn't work. So just kind of annoying. But people are interested in a Kwon interview that is actually released all at once, and maybe that flows a little smoother. So yeah, we'd definitely be down for that. Kwon, I don't know, maybe the full-length interview of this interview is better, but the teasers didn't exactly pique my interest, to put it mildly. Let's move on. Andreessen Horowitz announces plans to invest in Adam Neumann's new residential real estate company. So Andreessen Horowitz, they are the big Silicon Valley. There's a bunch of big Silicon Valley funds. They're pretty much the top dog, the biggest one. They've been the most successful in crypto investments specifically. So they sent a blog post that Neumann's efforts to redesign the office experience at WeWork are often underappreciated. The firm loves to see repeat founders built on successes by growing from lessons learned. So this is interesting, because Adam Neumann did sort of burn bridges with Benchmark Capital, another firm, and probably other firms as well, when it went south with WeWork. But the big one, Andreessen Horowitz, they're still full throttle pro Andrew Neumann. They put in $350 million in this project, FlowCarbon it's called. That's their biggest single investment ever. So that's pretty impressive. So they describe it as a service where landlords can team up for the property, somewhat similar to the way an owner of a hotel might contract with a branded hotel chain to operate the property. So it's along the lines of fractional real estate ownership, fractional hotel ownership. This is becoming a hot and trendy market. Within crypto, a lot of projects are going off that there. But now if you look at the website, it gets kind of interesting here. So here's the website. FlowCarbon, where anyone can offset carbon and invest in planet-saving projects. But for the planet, made for everyone. Connects corporations, individuals, developers, make carbon market rich with incentives, blah, blah, blah. Intersection of carbon and new technology. Goal is to accelerate decarbonization through the preservation and protection of Earth's natural ecosystem. So you get the point here. So it's very... The image they're going for is very earthy, sort of spiritual, save the planet. But do you notice anything that's kind of missing from this website? Almost nothing about crypto, blockchain, no mention of a token sale, which they mentioned a lot previously in their first go-run with this project a couple months ago. No mention of the goddess nature token that I can see. The closest mention I found was they just called the project, building on chain. They didn't even use the full word blockchain. So this definitely looks like a rebrand as more of just a big sort of earthy tech project to save the planet, not a crypto blockchain project, even though the project itself appears to be the exact same. They're just rebranding it. So that's interesting. So if you look at the history, so this is about, 3-4 months ago, May. That's when they announced they were project was launching, and then Andreessen Horowitz's investment was only $70 million at this point. So they had a big launch, $32 million fresh equity, $38 million through a token sale. So that's a very crypto-esque token sale, private sale. Then 2 months later, July, Adam Neumann's FlowCarbon project paused indefinitely. They're pausing to launch the Goddess Nature token due to market conditions. They're waiting for the market conditions to stabilize, which seemed kind of fair. That was right after the Terra nuke and all that stuff. So it sort of seemed like they were just going to relaunch the project, which they did, but now with 5 times as much backing. So it went up from $70 million investment to $350 million investment, with a totally new rebrand with absolutely no mention of crypto token sales, Goddess Nature token, blockchain, nothing like that whatsoever. So it's interesting. I guess maybe it was less the market conditions as the reason why they temporarily shelved the project a couple months ago, more just that they wanted to essentially rebrand it just to make it, more tech and earthy sounding, interesting. But the fact that Andreessen Horowitz, they're the top dog, as I mentioned, they're given its firm commitment with their biggest investment ever, that's massively bullish for crypto. And it also shows that Andreessen Horowitz thinks that the market has turned around now and they are no longer temporarily shelving the projects. This is very bullish. The team is huge. It's the team on the website. It's like almost 100 people. So they're going full throttle. So it's interesting news there. Last story of the day, BitGo suing Galaxy Digital for pulling out of acquisition deal. Galaxy Digital said it would no longer acquire BitGo, and it would have been a massive deal in the crypto world. So BitGo is a custodial company. They make wallets. Galaxy Digital, that's Mike Novograt's company, they were going to buy it out for $1.2 billion. Huge acquisition. I think earlier in the year they agreed to acquire, but then we all know what the market happened since then. We obviously all know that Galaxy Digital's financials have not been the greatest. They lost $500 million last quarter, but then again, compared to what happened 3 years Capital or Voyager or, the other crypto funds like 3 years Capital, this is not bad at all. The company's still chugging along and they will make it through crypto winter, so that's a positive thing. But they did decide to cut costs and pull out of the BitGo acquisition, but BitGo said not so fast. They're suing in the same way Twitter and Elon Musk are suing each other here. So BitGo wants a $100 million early termination fee. That's it there. Hope everyone enjoyed this episode. I'll be back tomorrow with a new episode. Don't forget to like and subscribe button. Follow me on Twitter at bencryptoshow. See everyone tomorrow. Until then, this is Ben, signing out.